Welcome to this edition of Ask the Preacher. Recently, I was asked questions about miracles, and so I would like to talk today about some examples of miracles in the Bible. There are miracles in both the Old Testament and New Testament. In the Old Testament, creation is a miracle because God is establishing the physical laws and natural laws. He is setting things in a way that will allow for life on earth and allow for blessings to those of us who are alive on earth. I think of other miracles like the birth of Isaac to an ancient couple named Sarai and Abram. I think about the parting of the Red Sea along with the 10 plagues, things that were not explainable by natural means. I think about when Joshua leads Israel into the Promised Land. God stops the Jordan River. And if we were to look at Joshua 3:15, we would see that the Jordan was at flood stage. So it wasn't just a muddy creek at that point that could easily be dammed up and 20 people walk across, but many thousands of people walked across as the waters were stopped by God. By the way, I find it interesting that during that trip across the river, that 12 men were appointed, one from each tribe in Israel, to pick up a rock from the middle of the Jordan, and they made a pile of them so that they would have a memorial to the crossing of the river that way and the stopping of the river the way that God did. The way that I picture that happening is the first guy picked up a fairly small rock, and he's proud of himself because he can carry it easily. But the guy next to him picks up a much bigger rock. So he throws down his rock and picks up a bigger one. And by the end of it, 12 guys are picking the biggest rocks they can find to show off. And, well, we know how men can be sometimes. I think about them going to Jericho after that. And I think about them marching around the city. Not exactly a military strategy for defeating an enemy, is it? And at the end of 7 trips around on the 7th day, God knocks the walls down. No physical means can explain this, no natural means. And so God took care of it his own way for them. I think about miracles from Elijah, miracles from Elisha. Throughout the Old Testament, we see miracles. And by the way, with Elisha, in 2 Kings chapter 5, and in that section there, a fellow named Naaman, who was a Syrian commander, comes to Elisha eventually, and he's a leper. And his servant girl, who was a Jewess, had promised that there was a prophet in Israel who could take care of his leprosy. And Elisha tells him to go down to the Jordan River, a muddy creek by Naaman's standards, I guess, and dip 7 times, and he would be cleansed. Well, that's not supposed to happen, but it did. God healed the man. In the New Testament, the virgin birth of Jesus, as well as the birth of John the Baptist to another ancient couple, Zechariah and Elizabeth. You think about God's special messengers coming into the world in a special way. The Christmas story is full of miracles, with the star, with the angels appearing to the shepherds, the Magi, Joseph being told to flee King Herod and his wrath. John doesn't do any miracles, John the Baptist, that are recorded in the Bible, but his presence on earth and his message are amazing and show God's intervention. Jesus feeds the multitudes, heals the lame and the blind, even raises the dead. He calms the seas. He knows the thoughts of others around him. He is raised back to life after he himself has been brutally executed by professionals. The book of Acts is filled with miracles done by Peter and John, by Paul and others. The Bible shows God at work, acting to build his kingdom. Thank you for asking the preacher.